Hey! So, if you want ruined buildings, I've made some templates. In fact, I've made 5 of them, and they're all available for free from miscast.co. Here's how to use them. Print out and paste the templates onto your preferred materials. Each part of the template has a recommended material that I'd use. In this case, for the thicker parts, I'm using cork sheets because I like the texture, but foam board works well too. For the thin detailed parts, I'm using EVA craft foam, but cardboard is a great alternative as well. When you're cutting everything out, be sure to use a sharp knife blade. Frequently changing out your knife blades will give you better control and cleaner cuts. The more control you have, the safer you are. Then you can assemble the bits using PVA glue or super glue. Super glue used to be my go-to choice, but PVA glue has a stronger bond long term, and chances are, even if you really don't plan on it, it's likely you'll be using these pieces for the rest of your life. That's just how terrain works, so build it to last now. I've also made little assembly guides in the templates as well, so if you're having trouble and you need a reference, it's there. Once everything's assembled, now is a good time to raid the bits box. I really like using bits for 2 reasons. The first is it adds scale to a build. Adding smaller things to a big thing makes the big thing look bigger, and it also makes the big thing look more correct in a scene of 28mm models. Bits also add narrative and help establish a world. I can't remember where I heard it, it was a long time ago, but someone said, good terrain is good narrative. And that's something I try to do with all my terrain pieces, is add some sort of narrative or have some sort of narrative in my head while I'm making it. The bits I'm using I actually designed myself with my dad using Blender and printed them out on a cheap FDM printer. If you want to buy the STL files, I've made them available from miscast.co as well. I've also added some other details like wires and rubble and tiles. To build up rubble and debris on the bases, I'm using a foam safe construction adhesive and sort of just mushing all the parts and gravel into it. I found after doing my Necromunda table, the more details you add, the easier it is to get away with a simple paint job. For paint and texture, I'm mixing some black paint, a dash of glue, a smidge of grout, a pinch of sand, and a sprinkle of love, and then slapping it all over the place. Then, using white spray paint, I spray from above and give it a nice dusty highlight. Then I pick out some details with other colours, splash on some washes, which are mostly just watered down paint, and then using this liquid grossness in a bottle, I add some colour in the corners and add some moss around the place. And that's really it. That's quick and dirty ruined buildings. Ruined buildings were the first thing I ever made for my local club when we had too many people and not enough terrain. The designs were really simple, but they got the job done, and they're still used even now. So these 5 templates I've made are sort of the next evolution of that, and I've made 5 of them, which seems like a lot, but I made them because I remember back making those old buildings and they were all the exact same, and I remember cutting out the same window for the 99th time and wishing to be cutting out literally any other shape. So I hope you don't have to go through that and you enjoyed what I've made. Okay, that's it, and I'll see you in a bit.